Welcome to the Beer Can Cold podcast with your hosts Will Merritt and JG Van Gran, a podcast where the suction line is always beer can cold. Take it away, boys.
Thanks, Dougie. So, yes, we still know how to do this. It's been a minute.
We've been on a hiatus, Jesse. So.
Oh no, yeah. How long you guys been on break?
A couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks.
It's been, it's like 100 degrees every freaking day, and in the southeast, 100 degrees with 100% humidity. It's miserable. At least you guys, it's not the humidity. You don't have it out there.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with what 100 degrees feel like, but yeah, then that humidity, and that's a different beast, right?
Well, I mean, 80 degrees here when the humidity, like the dew point's at like 78 or something. It's just miserable. And
it sounds horrible, and I've got a few friends who travel back and forth between states, and 100 degrees is it's built different when it's when you have the humidity.
So it's just been, JG, he's on the contractor side, and I'm on the marketing side, and I just feel worn out this summer. It just seems it's the hottest summer I can remember in many years.
Man, I wish I could say that. Here it's been like a record mild.
I know. I've been watching.
Yeah, in July we had a week of where it didn't go above 90. It was 80s all a whole week in July, and thankfully we're still killing it. Like we're having a record summer despite the weather, which has been great. I just I know some other contractors around here are struggling, but thankfully we've been able to keep busy. So
Well, that's the thing, and so I read one of the 6 hottest summers on record. This being on some days third hottest, and then what they're saying is because of the amount of rain, the ground's so saturated that the humidity level is higher than normal, and that's why the summer felt so unbearable. And it was one of the hot. I'm a fat guy, and I judge summer on how much I sweat, and it's been a rough one.
We've been cutting the grass, Jesse. We don't have very much.
You
grass.
spin around and turn yourself into a sprinkler system, right?
Good Lord, dude.
But we've been mowing the grass like at 7 a.m.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
It's 4:30 in the afternoon because it's unbearable. It's not good for your grass, the type we have here. But but literally by what time we're done at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, you're just.
Has it tapered off at this point, or is it still going strong?
Yeah, we're actually it's very rainy right now, and it didn't get out of the 60s today.
Yeah.
So last 2 days been cold.
Which there was technicians everywhere high-fiving each other. So
they need a break, man. So,
no kidding. But before we go further, we need to make a pretty big announcement really quickly. And so, as everybody knows, we have 3 employees for our company. It's Will, myself, and then Dougie, the announcer, which we hired at $4 a year a while back. It's our AI voice. But we actually signed this gentleman has been on the show before, and so we actually signed him. He is now part of our podcast, and he actually, which I thought was quite disrespectful, but had a message from me and Will for us being back after 3 weeks. So let me play this real quick.
Oh, hey, it's finally podcast day again. What happened, JG and Will? Lose the mic in the woods? Welcome back to Beer Can Cold, boys.
So special message.
So he will. His name is Bob the Bigfoot, and he is now going to be featured and help us promote the shows and so forth. And so I'm gonna be using him a lot more and getting on some of our messaging out there. But I felt quite disrespectful. I'm probably gonna have to sit him down and understand who's in charge here. But he's happy we're back too.
Yeah. Well, just for those who don't know, I mean, this started back in May. And we did kind of an analogy, Jesse, of it's what's more elusive to find R454B or Bigfoot. We got the most views.
454B. So
yeah, and that's kind of why we did it. It's harder to find. I think things have eased up, and we can maybe touch on that topic too. But no, I just kind of that's where it started, and we've kind of touched on it from time to time. I even bought a Bigfoot shirt in the mountains a few weeks back.
I love it.
So it's just spiraling out of control. And then, of course, it went viral on social media. And, of course, we're taking credit for that. We started.
Oh, man, you got to. Yeah, you got to ride that wave, man.
It's got to calm down now, I've noticed. It's not.
A little bit.
So.
A little bit. So Jesse, tell us a little bit about you, your company. I had the immense pleasure of meeting your dad. I believe an icon. I don't know how long he's been doing heat and air, but he completely had me mesmerized. I really enjoyed hanging out with him at an event Will and then put out. And so I know a little bit about your company, but why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you guys, where you're located, and that type of thing.
Yeah. No, my dad is a character for sure. So we're located in the Central Valley of California, which if you're not, if you have the image of California as beaches and palm trees, that's not us. We're very much a farmland area. I think we produce something like 25% of the nation's like produce, or some ridiculous percentage. So lots of farms around here. Closest big city to us is Modesto, which you might know for George Lucas grew up there. American Graffiti was filmed there. So yeah, I was born and raised in Turlock. Went to Turlock High School. Our business is in Turlock, so we have deep roots here in the Central Valley. We got started. My grandpa was Wally Falke. He started back in 1969, and my dad has actually worked here since since we started. Since he was 11 years old, he's been working in air conditioning.
Wow.
He's seen the industry just go from full cut-ins all the time, using corded drills to like crawl under houses and put together hard pipe, to now being a retrofit replacement business, and all the tech we have nowadays. So whenever any of the installers complain about an install, he it's hard for him to take that much pity, but he is a very empathetic guy. So he still gets out there and helps the installers learn and stuff like that. He's still active in the business right now, but he's looking to retire in the next few years here. And we've been growing I've been here for 10 years in the business, and we've been growing since then. And I'm looking forward to just keeping us on that growth path. So.
And there's more family in the business, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, my mom is also a co-owner. She also works here in the office. And then my little sister, Rachel, used to work here in the office before she went and pursued physical therapy as a career. But I do miss her because it was fun having her in the office for a bit. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So 3 generations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I think the first place that my head goes is obviously technology is changing, so you have to change with that. Mm-hmm. But is the habits, good or bad, are they still kind of like what Grandpa used to do, or do you guys, does your dad allow you to kind of reevaluate and bring the business up into a new phase, or how does that work with 3 generations?
Yeah, with 3 generations, definitely there's always things to reevaluate. I think when I first started, obviously I was very new to the industry, just getting my feet wet. But as I've learned more about it each and every year, I started taking on bigger projects. We when I first started, we were doing his estimate appointments were all written down in a message book still, and we were on printed invoices where the guys were writing their work orders in triplicate and leaving them with the customer. So we did a big, switch over to House Call Pro, which is our main CRM right now. All our invoices, most of them are sent by email. We do a lot of our marketing. We do email blast through Effective Media Solution. Mm-hmm. We have, online filter store, online estimator store that we got hooked up with through Effective Media as well. There's tons of different improvements on the technology side that we've made, there were times where there was a little bit of I don't want to say resistance, but a little bit of
trepidation.
Trepidation when it came to doing some of the new stuff. But I appreciate the trust that they've put in me and my other core team that I work with here, and we've been able to bring the level up and up. So it's been great.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, and I would imagine it's probably a very cool thing to be in a 3rd generation business, because your message to your customers is, I'm going to take care of you like my granddad did, like my dad did. And even so, I'm sure the story is very cool to tell.
It is, yeah. And I just had a conversation like that with a customer today who's been using us for 40 years. And I was like, man, I got to come out and meet you. We're doing an install for her tomorrow. And I was just like, yeah, for 4 decades, you've been trusting us with your business at different houses as she's moved around the area. And so, I was just like, this is so cool that it's multiple generations for the business, but then multiple generations of customers too, where their kids and grandkids now use us. So yeah, it's great to have that connection with the community. Absolutely.
Well, wait a minute. Talk about trust now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I can't. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it makes me nervous. I'm like, man, can I live up to these expectations they have? Like of this, my grandpa. I still hear people tell stories of him going out at night and fixing somebody's air conditioner, and or even like if there was something wrong with a unit that we installed, just taking care of it, no charge, and just making it right with them. And so just living up to that standard and that character, doing my best. So
yeah, now I'm hoping one day that would be something that I can start for our family, is walking down and handing it off, because my middle son is doing heat and air as well. He doesn't want to work for dad right now, which is fine. He needs to go see how the real world is before before he comes. But but that's it. As to I work for a pretty large contractor, and I absolutely love my job. I love the people I work for.
Awesome.
But it's like, eventually, maybe one day, maybe, sometime down the road, I would like to start something like that and hand it off to my son. And hopefully that can become that generational thing, because I think it's such a cool story.
Yeah. It is. And I'm glad that you're letting him. So I'll just say, for my parents, to their immeasurable credit, they never pushed me into the business. They were very, no, not at all. Not at all. I didn't think I was going to join the business for a long, long time. I went to college and had, dreams of going into academia. And then I got kind of burnt out after I got my bachelor's. Didn't want to go into graduate school and put myself in a ton of debt right then. And so I remember a conversation that we had. We were going to a San Jose Sharks game, a hockey game up near here. And they were asking me what I wanted out of a career. And I said, well, I want to make a decent living for myself. I want to help people, and I don't want to be bored. And they're like, well, come on down to the business. Like, you're
not HVAC world.
give you all that in spades. So yeah, that got me down here just on a part-time basis. And then as I got to learn the company and the people, because we've got some people who have been with us for, my office manager has been with us since she was in high school doing a work study, and she stuck with us. And now her son and her daughter work here at the company as well. So it's been great getting to know the people here and the industry, and it's been awesome. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. And do you have employees that's been around for a long time?
Yeah. Patty, my office manager, has been with us for over 30 years. My operations manager, Ricky, has been with us for close to 20 years now. And then we had my install manager was with us for close to 20 years, but he recently moved to the East Coast to pursue some work with his church that they were doing over there. So he decided to make that his priority, which we were very supportive of him. I was sad to see him go, but he's got to do what's right for him. So
yeah. No, very cool.
Great culture you guys have got. So this family business, and I think that's what JG, like you said, same kind of thing where you are. Same with us, it's kind of like family. That makes a difference.
It definitely is. And I, as we've grown and had to bring on new people and other people have gone, we had to really structure our culture, because we needed a standard to hold everybody to for what we expected. So we developed our core values and a process for holding people accountable to that. So that's been another big change that I've seen our company go through, is like having those listed out explicitly. We have signs all over the building on what those core values are. And we have evaluations every 3 months where people, we talk to them about where they are in those core values and what needs to improve, what they're doing well. So yeah, that's been huge, because that, I think, has taken us to the next level, because the family mentality is great, but not everybody, especially new employees, is going to feel that immediately. So having that to kind of bring onboard them into the culture a little bit more smoothly has been very helpful.
How do you tell me a little bit about your hiring process, Jesse?
Yeah, so me and for the office staff, Patty, my office manager, and my mom usually do those. But for me and Ricky, my operations manager, we usually conduct those for the install and service side. And a lot of it, our questions are kind of built around our core values. Like, so, for example, one of our core values is we are constantly learning. And, a great interview question to kind of test that is, hey, what was the situation you wish you had handled differently, and what did you learn from it in the past? And the candidate being able to say, hey, I made this mistake, I don't want to do that again, so I decided to learn X from it. And showing that they have that ability to learn is a good question to ask them. If they say like, yeah, I can't think of anything I did wrong ever, then it's just like, okay, like, I don't think I want you on my team, because I know everybody I've met has something to learn, and if if you're the exception to that, then I have concerns. So
you have to learn something new every day. I mean, it keeps you going, keeps your mind sharp.
Yep. So all of our questions are built around those core values and trying to get a sense if they're going to be a good fit. We kind of have adopted a policy of hire slow, fire fast, which might sound a little harsh, but a lot of times within 30, 60, 90 days if somebody's going to be a good fit for your culture. You want to have a few candidates to pick from and really think it over, because the wrong hire can really introduce some toxicity into the culture, and that can take a lot longer to get rid of than it would be to just stop it from happening in the first place. So it's definitely a tough thing to hire correctly, but we're getting a little better at it, every time. So
yeah, that 90-day thing is so incredibly important, and it's tough. I'm helping. I've given some of it off now, but we have an entire hiring process we go through, and believe it or not, I actually use AI in our hiring process. But the big thing for us is like what you just said. Take some time to hire, but be quick to let go, right? So that you have that period of 90 days to say it's working or it's not working. So I've actually I talked to my service manager the other day, and I said we need to do a better job of explaining in the interview process that the first 90 days is courting. Mm-hmm. And at any time in that 90 days, both parties can get out of this thing pretty quickly so that nobody gets hurt. Yeah. And I think that's really important. And actually there was a kid that came and worked for us, really loved him, that he did nothing wrong. Absolutely was a good fit, but he decided that heating and air wasn't for him. I wrote him a heck of a letter for wherever he was going to go. Right. But it's like, it's sometimes it's just not what you think it's going to be. And it's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's no shame in that. You don't know it until you try it. So that's great. I like that idea of making it just very explicit in the, when you hire someone that, hey, it's 90 days is, what'd you say? Courting? Is that what you said?
It's courting. Yeah. It's like we're dancing.
Yeah.
We're dancing before we go get ice cream. We're going to make sure that this is good. Right. And it's just important because, and what we have found before is somebody will be on their best behavior 90 days. And then at the 100th day, they start, something acts up. Again, listen, man, I'm sorry. This is just not going to work out. And so it's tough. And it's especially tough for us because it's so hard to find people.
It is.
And so we're taking this approach, and I've talked about it several times on the podcast, where we bring some young guys in and we're teaching them the industry, making sure they fit our culture. And it's really good. That's a good process. It's a long-term play. It's a snowball type of play. But what we did, we had some stress this summer because the callback rates were up, right? And it's like, it's okay. Let's work through this. Let's handle it. Let's make sure the customer is taken care of properly. But we may have released one or two of the guys too quickly. And so we learned from that. Like you said, always learning, right? But we have to get this attitude in this industry that we're going to have to bring them up ourselves, because they're not going to walk through the door. And if they do, you may not want them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. The training is such a huge focus right now in the industry. Like getting people good training, and is I hear that all the time. That's like, that's something every contractor needs to improve on. And I count myself amongst those. It's just like, the onboarding people, having a good onboarding process is hugely beneficial to a contractor. So,
yeah, I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. The being in California, you guys, I'm just hearing horror stories of the things you guys are dealing with that we don't have. Am I wrong?
I'm not sure the exact horror stories, but yeah, there's some difficulties for sure. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in it, so it seems, I'm sure looking from the outside in, it looks crazier than being grown up.
Of course,
yeah.
But yeah, it's I mean, I hear there's a lot less attic furnaces and stuff out, in a lot of other states. The attic jobs, like furnaces and coils being the attic almost exclusively, can be a little rough on the body, for sure. It's 100.
Yeah, there was a guy that died in Arizona. Last it was assault in ACHR News. It's like, just a few days ago. Damn. Yeah, because the attics here, Jesse. We had ours at our house, spray foam.
Mm-hmm.
When it's 100 degrees outside, your attic's 150, 160.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's no joke. So yeah, we do what we do to try to lessen the strain is we you guys know those portable air conditioners that have like the tubing and stuff. We modified one to run a piece of regular flex to get some cooling into the attic. So you get like 9 or 12,000 BTUs of cooling up in the attic.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
JG, have you heard of that?
No. So our trick was always, when I was still doing this stuff, was that you hook the outdoor unit and the air handler up first. You hook up the return. You don't hook up the supply until very last.
Yeah, we've done that too. Absolutely. Yeah, you start early and then get that supply blast in to cool off the attic. Yeah, that's another good tip.
Yeah, but that's a very cool idea. Actually, a contractor that I knew down here that I used to sell York to, he took I think he had 2 or 3 enclosed trailers that he put a metal frame on and put package units on the roof of them. And so when he would sell geothermal jobs, a job was going to take a while, he would pull that up, hook it up to the outdoor disconnect, have a supply go into one side of the house and a return the other side. And they had cooling in the, downstairs or whatever they needed for a while. Wow. And then he had them really well lettered and wrapped. So it was a commercial for him too. And it was his rescue trailers. He used to call them his rescue trailers. And then it's a job side trailer. So everything that needed for the job was on the trailer. It's actually a very smart idea.
Yeah, that's impressive. So.
Yeah, but it was definitely an investment on his part. But yeah, it worked out for him for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's really cool. I can see that paying off big, as like you said, as an advertisement for sure.
No, but I know you guys have more regulatory things to deal with than I think we do. And what I'm always hearing, and I don't know if this is true or not, but like all the regulatory things we see here kind of starts with you guys. California pioneers a lot of this energy efficiency stuff and so forth. So has the change to the new refrigerant, this efficiency stuff, has it been as tough on you guys as it is on this side of the country?
Yeah, so the new refrigerant, the price increases between the new refrigerant and then from just over the last few years with the COVID supply chains and the price increases, the cost of equipment is just skyrocketed. It's been insane. When I look back just 5-6 years ago at what we replaced somebody's unit at, and now it's like it's almost double sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's double, right? Because I replaced both systems last 3 years, and the smaller tonnage system cost me more 2 years later than the larger tonnage system.
I believe it. Yeah, no, we've taken some steps recently with this new refrigerant change to offer an economy line. We're York, but we just got signed up with another brand to offer an economy line just to be able to stay in the ballpark with some of the smaller contractors, chucking a truck that are just coming in and giving the super low bids. We're never going to be as low as them, but we want to be at least in the conversation with like the other value we can add, the reliability of being a third generation company, our 10 years parts and labor warranty, the things that we have built our brand on. Those things do take you a certain amount of the way, but if you're $6,000 more than somebody, it's tough for, especially for a rental, for them to justify that in their head. You know?
Yeah. 100%. Well, that takes us down a squirrel highway here real quick.
Yeah.
I just put it in the notes so I wouldn't forget it. So let's since you're York, we're all former, or somewhat York in our blood. I sold it for 17 years.
Yeah.
12.
12 is the Bosch acquisition. So I was reading more about it. I know about Bosch. We have some distributors locally we work with that sell Bosch, and seems like we've done some different trade shows and stuff, and little grand openings and stuff at distributorships. And I always get, for some reason, we're beside the Bosch people. And I've always, the guys been nice, the reps have been nice, and I hear about how simple the technology is. And so I was reading a little bit on. I didn't realize they're a German company. I didn't know that. So it was a cool article. It's Contracting Business or ACHR News. I've been reading it last few days, and so I think that's kind of exciting news. They spun this piece off because JG and I, you were there, right, in December 05, when Johnson Controls bought York, and we were all excited at the time. And I think it had some good things, but we didn't see what we anticipated to come on the residential side, like on a technology side and just innovation side. So what are you guys hearing? I'm just curious about it because, again, I'm still in the loop, Jesse, but I'm a little bit out of the loop. So tell me what's going on.
So my understanding is that the merger is still very much in process. Like that type of big merger takes a while for the effects to be really felt. But I am excited about it as well, just because I feel like Bosch. So we did start installing some Bosch as well the last few years. I think one of the regulatory things you might be talking about, JG, or one of the things in California is the electrification of it, where they're really pushing heat pumps, converting from gas to heat pump units. So we got signed up with Bosch as one of our higher end offerings for the heat pump side of things. They do offer gas equipment as well, but they have a really good heat pump, like high end heat pump that we started offering in our line of products. And they've been great. I mean, they are very easy to install, pretty good tech support, pretty low callback rate, and they don't require heat strips a lot of the time. You can add them for people who really need them, but in our climate, that's kind of few and far between. That they need heat strips, so they've been a great offering. And the electrification thing was interesting. It's actually kind of tapered off a little bit recently.
I'm hearing,
the money. So there was the HERA program that was a federal program for like low and middle income families. That the money ran out so quick. It was just like within. Yeah, so it kind of have a stutter step of a start where it started, stopped, started again, and then the money was gone. Like, so it was we barely got to even touch that program really. So and then the stateside rebate program has kind of tapered off. Back in 21, 22, I think they had like a $3,000 rebate for switching over from gas to heat pump through the state, and that was enough that a lot of people opted to do higher end heat pumps rather than, they could get a higher end heat pump, for the same price as a pretty mid-grade gas system, even with a little bit extra for labor for running the power and stuff like that. So we installed, we did a lot of heat pump conversions in 21, 22, 23, but that has definitely tapered off over the last year or two.
So my understanding, and you're in California, and I just what I read and hear is, isn't there legislation proposed to outlaw all fossil fuels by 2030 in California? Is that correct?
Yeah? There's I'm not sure how that's going to shake out for the. That's going to be.
Of course.
That one scares me. Like the not being able to install gas furnaces after 2030. I just don't see how that's.
Well,
that's even like. How is that fair to the consumer at all? Like if their furnace goes out, then what? They can either patch it up or they can
have no heat. Sorry.
Well,
we've switch all the way over to a heat pump for like 5 times the cost. Like it's It's
We've-
crazy. So,
We've established a long time ago, and alert, here's another one of those that's going to go viral. We established a long time ago the guys that make these laws, they don't live in houses where it matters.
no.
Okay. And so
No,
it's what's good enough for the rest is maybe not good enough for them type of thing. And I've been saying that for a while. But along those lines, what are you guys hearing? Because I know in the bill that just passed, the big bill that just passed, tax credits are dead December 31st. So what does that do for the cost of HVAC systems? Because there was tax credit, there was some relief, for some people. What do you hear about that? How are you guys going to handle that?
So I haven't reviewed that as closely as I should. I know for geothermal it's gone. Are you talking about for the heat pump one as well? The $2,000 federal tax credit is gone. So
pretty much everything. This is the way I read it, and this is full disclosure because I know there's going to be 50 people commenting on this. The way I read it and the way I understand it is that all those are dead, and the reasoning apparently behind it was there was a lot of fraud and abuse in those programs for some other reason. I don't know how, because I think it's pretty hard to do that. But from what I understand, tax credits for higher efficiency equipment is gone.
Got it.
December 31st.
Yeah, I know I knew about the geothermal one. I wasn't sure about the heat pump one. It probably wouldn't be that hard to for the federal tax credit. I think you just fill out a form and you put an ARI number. For the HERO program, it would have been almost impossible to fraud that. The amount of the hoops you had to jump through were just insane.
Yeah.
But for the federal tax credit of $2,000 for a higher efficiency heat pump, that probably was pretty easy to fake. And then, so it would surprise me though. I don't know what that's going to do to the industry. I think probably lower efficiency equipment is going to be even more prevalent. I do sometimes talk to customers about, I'm not always the one to recommend higher efficiency equipment just because it's, a higher ticket item. There is a trade-off to those bells and whistles. The reliability of higher efficiency equipment is not as very, just entry level equipment. The more bells and whistles you have, the more failure points you have. So I
agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I try to have customers make that informed decision, and sometimes they make it and they are go into it with eyes wide open and they're fine with any issues that pop up. Little nuisance issues. Sometimes they're like, man, I really wish I would have gone with the more basic stuff. So
I went with variable capacity systems, and for the most part, they've been great. I mean, comfort wise in our home.
Oh yeah, when they work, I mean,
we did some other things with the installation stuff, but it's great. But I want to go back before we get too far from this. I have a question, or have a comment, and then a question. Please. Back to the electrification thing. So something I was either watching or reading, and they talking about these laws. Especially as like you were saying, JJ, it starts on the West Coast and moves across the country, migrates across the country. And, instituting or proposing a law like a ban on all fossil fuel equipment, in a short period of time, that's 5 years from now, less than 5 years.
That's not good.
Again, they propose it and knowing that it's not going to happen. They just, but the whole process is to try to push people as quickly as possible, knowing it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen in 2030. I can almost
and so I just kind of want to establish that. I think that's reality. But my question is for you guys as a contractor out there that you're saying, you've probably installed tons of gas systems. There's tons of gas AC systems in your marketplace. What is the percentage, today, or how has it changed in the last couple of years? I mean, how much, low NOx 95 plus York furnaces are you putting in? And see, I know that because I know low NOx, and I know
the ultra cleaning is a whole nother level of stupid. I'm just gonna say that. So,
But anyway, I mean, if you all right, 10 jobs. Let's just keep it simple math here. How many are heat pumps? How many are gas AC?
Oh, 8 or 9. 8 or 9 are gas still, at least in our area.
Really?
Yeah.
See, what about 60-40?
50, 60-40. You're still telling me it's 80-90%. That's crazy.
Well,
But it depends too.
when the rebates were in full effect and you could get all those rebates, it was probably closer to 50-50, 60-40. But now that the rebate game has kind of died down a little bit, most people, it's just the cost is not worth it to them. So.
I just, heat pumps are great. It's kind of funny. Charlotte, where I live, has always been a gas AC market, where JG is more in the Raleigh Triangle area. Has always been pushing more of a heat pump market.
Okay.
My theory is, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'll tell friends ask me, what do you do? And I said, well, that air conditioner is not running in the winter, so you're not using it. So it's going to have a longer lifespan than a heat pump that's running year round.
Used to. They don't build them like that anymore. That thing will sit out there and break without running.
Well, all know nothing lasts like it used to. It's called manufactured obsolescence. People out there, don't know the terminology, look it up. It's designed to fail, unfortunately, and I think that's with everything in our society today. It's not just the HVAC world, but that's kind of my philosophy on
everything. Yeah.
But I sat back the other day because I made a fatal mistake and watched the news. I never do anymore. I don't know why it was on.
Oh, come on, JG.
But this whole thing came on about, hey, you're doing all this stuff to your house. Have you noticed your electric bill is not going down? So immediately I'm glued, right? I'm like, so now they're saying because of all these AI centers being built, they're using so much electricity that people's power bills are getting affected by it, right? So now I'm thinking to myself, I'm just sitting there thinking, going, okay, because see, if you bring a AI center to my city, I have to give you some tax breaks to make sure that you bring it to my city and not the next one. Well, the AI centers, those data centers, take an ungodly amount of energy to run.
They do, yeah.
So
this is uncharted territory for me. So
So I'm listening. So Pennsylvania, is investing. Several places around the country is investing. So the power bills are not coming down necessarily. You're doing all these things to your home, and it's not necessarily meaning power bills coming down. And so now the people that are like really getting into like, let's still build the AI data centers, which I think is a good thing. There's also the people saying, let's electrify everything. Let's make electric cars. Let's do heat pumps only. And then I go back and I look at a therm of natural gas and how much that cost me to heat my house. And I look at a kilowatt hour of electricity. And I'm like, to me, it's not there.
No.
The argument's not there.
No, it's so I'm lucky enough to live in Turlock. We have a local irrigation district that provides pretty reasonable power costs. Just south of us, PG&E just charges an insane, probably 2.5 to 3 times as much for electricity. I will very strongly recommend against heat pumps in PG&E territory because. Yeah, they will. I mean, they'll be miserable with their bill. Like, and I had one person where we installed it not knowing that they were in this little PG&E pocket, and their bill was horrible, and I felt horrible. I felt bad. I actually think that one we ended up switching it back to a gas because I think we didn't advise her correctly on a couple of things. So I think we ended up switching her to a gas furnace. We did a dual fuel. That's what it was. We switched it to a dual fuel. So, but
it's just funny to me how we make these rules. We're going to make everything electric, but yet the power grid in this country can't sustain some of the stuff they want to do. Yeah. And I'm like, why does the left hand never talk to the right hand is my main question.
It's a little wild, yeah. And I mean, I don't think the heating thing would be the part that breaks the power grid because obviously the power grid can handle it for the AC side. I don't think it's going to pull more power even if everybody switched to heat pump like in the winter. Well, I don't know, across the country. Depends on the climate.
Yeah. But don't just think about our industry though.
Yeah.
There's a big push for electric vehicles. There's a big push for all these things that's electricity.
It's everything together.
It's everything. Like you put it all in one big pot. And you're like the grid it's not going to handle all that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant, but I just don't see it.
No, yeah, I mean the infrastructure is not there to support the proposed changes, like to the technology right now. I think that's, I don't know too many people would argue against that, and I think Will's right in that these rules are probably going to get pushed back, and it's just to spur change more than actually thinking it's going to happen, which is kind of a
Well, they're going to get some of it done.
Yeah, it's like a weird incentive structure where we know it's gonna. If we think it's gonna happen eventually, we'll push towards it, and then they'll push the deadline back another 5 years, and then another 5 years, and then maybe at least I hope that's what's gonna happen, because otherwise we're gonna have some serious issues. So,
Well, the question is, do you drive an electric car?
I do not. So, yeah, I did want a hybrid, but they didn't have. I got my car in 2022 after weird story, but after my old car got stolen 3 times in 1 month.
What? All right, well, hang on.
Hold on.
I'll have to get bourbon. Hang on. Three times in 1 month.
3 times in 1 month, twice in a week, and then the third time was I don't know. I'll try to tell the short story, the short version. So I was living I was living about an hour away from here because I just met my now fiance and we moved in together. She was living in Sacramento. I was living here in Turlock. We were both commuting about an hour one way or the other. So we were living in this gated apartment complex. Nice. You would think a vehicle would be safe there. I wake up one morning, car's gone. Yeah, just gone. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, call the police. They end up finding it at the apartment complex, like down the street from us. And it's got bunch of random crap in there, like somebody was going to use it to like take off. Like they didn't take stuff out, they actually put stuff into the car.
Did you get to keep it?
Did you get to keep it?
I got to keep it, but I didn't want any of it because it was all junk and drug paraphernalia. So, I cleared it out. I put it back, and then about a week later, I had gotten like a club or whatever to help protect it. But I think I forgot to put it on one night. And so happens I went to the gym at the apartment complex, and then I see this girl who I've never seen in the complex before in the gym crying. And I asked her like if she's okay and what's going on. And she said she like got in a fight with her boyfriend and had nowhere to go. I was like, how'd she get in? Like, I was like, but then she gets a call at like partway through the conversation. It's her boyfriend, and she was like, makes it sound like they had made up, and she leaves. She's like, I'm at the place next door, and then she leaves. So I finish up my workout, go shower, get ready to go to work. I go out, my car is gone again. It's like, what the fuck? I was like,
in a week?
Yeah. My car is gone again, and then I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, she said she's at the place next door. I was like, this is just the fit, like her situation seemed fishy, and then she said that we're next door, and they had found it at the apartment complex. I call the cops. I walk over to the next the apartment complex where they had found it. It's in the exact same spot. And I'm like, oh, and then so the cops get there, and I'm like looking around, and I see the girl from the gym looking at me from one of the apartments, like on a second story. I'm like, I point her out to the cops. I'm like, pretty sure the one
That's
who
her.
My car lives right there. And they show me they pull out their little computer, scan through. They're like, does she look like this? And they like hold up a picture. I'm like, yep, that's her.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, they're like, yeah, she's a known car thief. Like, but she used to live on the other side of town. Now she's over here. I'm like, great. I was like, well, go talk to her. But the thing is, they could never. This is California for you. They could never really arrest her because she never actually got away with it and like did anything to it. Like so.
This is like the dumbest criminals like inside.
She is so dumb. She is so dumb.
Well, but is she though? Like I would say the tenacity. Like right. So she didn't get the first day, so she went back.
Yeah. So I think it was an old Honda Pilot, and Hondas are notorious for being pretty easy to get shaved keys. And I found some. It was written on the at one point. I can't remember if it was the first or the second one because this was a little while back now. They had written the VIN number of another car, so I think they were pretty like into being car thieves. Like they had written like a Supra and then the VIN number on it. Like that was their next mark or whatever. Like, so they must have had to shave the key to get in it. Anyway, so I get it back again, and they can't really do anything about it. So I get an alarm system, do everything I can to secure the car. I go out of town. This is about 3 or 4 weeks later. I go out of town for a concert in my girlfriend's car, and then we come back and my car is gone again. And I'm just,
you're like, what the?
This is insane. Like they must. I think when I got it back, they had cut the alarm system, so they know what they're doing. Like,
yeah.
So, but it took me a while to find it this time. They like, I don't know how long it was gone. So in that time, I had bought the car I have now, and so. But then I get a call from the police about a week or two after it had been stolen for the last time, and they're like, "Hey, we found your car." I'm like, "Where is it?" And I was on a walk, and they're like, "We're over by such and such street." It was like a mile away, so I just jog over to to my car. Like, I'm coming. Yeah. And so they had like. Now they had like kind of trashed it. They had spray painted it horribly. They had changed the license plate to make it look like not my car. But the police had been behind her, and she turned really sharply onto the street. And the policeman was like, "Man, that's kind of weird. Like, why'd they turn so like sketchy?" So they follow her down, and it's a court. And so she hits the end of the court, and she just takes off on foot because she can't go anywhere. Like, so, yeah. At that point, I'd already got a new car. I just ended up selling that one. It was just
that's a new one to me. So if you're a very unsuccessful criminal, then they're not going to charge you in California. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think they had a case on the third one, but I don't know if they ever.
You suck at being a car thief, so we're not going to. You're so bad at what you do.
Incompetence is not. You can't put her on trial for that, I guess. So
it's funny. It's the third time, girl. Here, just take it. Here's the keys. Don't have to steal it again. Just take it.
There's one person who I told the story to. They're like, "What'd you do to this girl?" Jesse, I was like, "Dude, I've never seen this girl in my life." Like, they're like, if I, it was crazy.
That is funny.
Wow.
So just to quickly circle back, I do have one more question. So we kind of talked about the challenges that we're facing right now, but what's your biggest opportunity? And I'll tell you why I asked that question. And actually, I'm not asking it. Will wrote it. But why it's resonating with me is our business coach told us the other day that out of all the companies that his coaching organization is dealing with, that we're like top 5. And one, well, we're very blessed and we have a great team. But I went to our top sales guy, and this guy is absolutely amazing. He manifests work like you won't believe. But I said, I just kind of talked to him and I talked to some of the other guys. Here's the thing. It's a mindset with them. They don't believe in recessions. They don't believe in any of this stuff. The news can tell people whatever they want to. They don't buy. They don't buy into it.
No recession in HVAC.
No, and so that because the business, what I'm just to title back together, the business coach is telling me, there's companies really struggling out there. There's people that it's really not a great economy right now for heating and air and all this other stuff. And I'm like, we're not seeing it because my techs and my sales guy. Now we're in a pretty affluent area, but they just don't believe in it. They don't believe that something like that exists. They go out there and they serve our customers. So that's a very loaded question, but what's the biggest opportunity right now?
Yeah. So I'm going to stall for time by telling a story while I think of my answer. So
you're on the perfect place to do that.
Yeah. So it reminds me of, our business coaches are through SPE, and they partner with George Brazil, which is a company out in Phoenix.
Love those guys.
Who had a very similar thing where during the recession is when they grew. And so wherever, like you said, there's no recession in HVAC. It's if it affects some people, if some people are struggling, that means other people are picking up that business. People need their air conditioning, like at least in the climate we're at, they need it. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity for a lot of our customers. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to with other people struggling, you can set yourself apart by really providing quality service, by really branding yourself like in particular ways, showing what makes you different than another HVAC company, really taking your time and giving them their options rather than doing the hard sell. I think the opportunity right now is to develop lifelong customers, because if they can't replace right now, that doesn't mean they're never going to replace. Eventually they're going to have to replace. We always talk about our pipeline, our customer pipeline. We've had so many customers that we have picked up from other companies trying to hard sell them, where we've given them a repair option that nobody else has given them. And it might be an expensive repair option that we wouldn't necessarily recommend, but that's what makes sense for them in the moment.
In the moment.
Yeah, in the moment. Maybe right now, I mean, there are some people who leave California, they're like, hey, I am not going to be here in 5 years. So I just want to fix my air conditioner right now. So we just priced ourselves to be profitable on the repair, and then we pick up that customer, and sometimes they stay in California, and
they might not move. And then
exactly, yeah,
cost factor. So who they're going to use? They're going to use you.
100%. And then on that note, I'm going to take opportunity to shout out a new product that we just started using. It's called a Nuve thermostat. Are you familiar with them, JG?
The guy is burning my phone up. Oh my God.
I don't know this, but what is it called?
Oh, it's great. It's actually very good. But Jesse, I can't. Nuve.
Nuve.
Tell him.
Yeah.
Yep. Tell him about it. It's amazing. However, I'm already, because of Service Titan, spending so much money on software. I just can't right now.
Yeah.
And it's expensive.
It is expensive. They're a little bit pricey for a thermostat, and you pay for the service as well. But it's basically a branded thermostat, so that you can so it's a thermostat that you can get your logo on. Yeah. And then they can tap the logo, and then it gets them a QR code or your contact number. And so the idea is that you're trying to, like, the thermostat is what most people think of when, like, the everyday person thinks of when they think of the air conditioner.
We're going to go there first. Why is it cool in here?
Exactly. So the idea is you put on the thermostat, and then, let's say it's a 10-year-old system, customer moves, and you now all of your whatever you paid to acquire that customer, a lot of times would be lost. But if you put on Nuve thermostat with your logo on there, new homeowner, they're going to call you almost 100% of the time, because they see that logo, they see that contact number, and then you reacquire that customer without having to spend any marketing. So that's one benefit of it right there. Other benefit of it is you can monitor how the system is performing. You have a dashboard that you can use to see what stage it's going into, how much runtime it's doing. It'll give you alerts if the system is running for too long and it doesn't seem like it's cooling. So you can provide a really crazy customer experience where you're calling them saying, like, hey, it doesn't seem like your AC is working as well as it should. Let's come out and check it out. And they're like, before they might even realize it. So it takes a bit to get dialed in that well, but the opportunity is there. So.
Well, I think it's a great product. And actually, Will, the guy burns me up. Oh my God. The guy next to me constantly. So I'm actually going to get on the phone with him again, because we sat through the demo, and I'm thoroughly impressed. I want to do it. I just don't have it on my budget at the moment, because the software behind the scenes is kind of spendy. Yeah. And you're going to need to get some thermostats out there to kind of make it make it worth it. But in our demo, and Jesse, the guy, probably told you the same thing. He told us about a contractor in Chicago, a big contractor, that just put those stats on all his trucks and everywhere. Everywhere his techs go now, they put this thermostat on the wall for free. They don't charge customer anything. They just hand them a thermostat, and they put it on the wall. And what it's doing is his changeouts are up like 25% or something, because the system goes out. His already on the wall. The customer knows who to call. But the thing for me that was really impressive is I can communicate with my customers, and it keeps the message on the thermostat until the customer X's it out.
Yeah.
So, hey, maintenance reminders. Hey, I started a plumbing department. I need plumbing work, like whatever. Yeah. So I'm in.
Doing this, putting your arms around them and not letting go. And I believe in what you were saying earlier about, there's so many guys, like when we had Patrick Lang on from the Business Modification Group about it, he buys it and helps sell heat and air conditioning companies. He's in that business, Jesse. And he said, yeah, these companies that go out and see him, he goes, everybody needs a new system. No, everybody does not need a new system. And consumers can see through that. And there's just times, like you said, it's probably in their best interest to replace the system. But like you said, it could be they're having some bad financial issues. Like I said, they might be moving. You don't know. And sometimes if you just go, hey, here's another option, and you do this, you're building that trust. But the whole idea is to get them into the fold and then become your customer. And and we talk about this on our side, on the marketing side, is don't worry so much about the acquisition cost to get the customer. It's like get the customer, and it's the lifetime value of that customer. And I'll just say this: I've said it before. I use it with our team all the time. Is my heat and air conditioning provider I was just a maintenance customer for 5 years, and then it came time. They were Yorks. That got replaced, old Affinity systems, but I've become a big customer. They've replaced both systems and the duct systems. Yeah. So I went from a little $400 a year customer to a pretty big account, a big spend, with them. And I think that's the way, as a heat and air conditioning company in this world and environment, you got to understand that you're not going to, have the shoot the moon sale every single time. Just, you got to get them in the fold.
But Will, I think this is where my frustration would lay with the industry a little bit. So, Jesse, for about a year and a half, I left distribution. I left York, Virginia, and I went into the software industry. And I dealt with a software that I was the director of sales for a software that's like Service Titan. Okay. And so I got to go on the circuit quite a bit. So I'm getting to hear a lot of people speak. And the sad thing to me is how many speakers are out there, how many people are standing up, slamming this thing on their chest going, everybody needs a new system. Your average ticket should be $18,000, all this other stuff. And then, you guys do it, we do it, where you do what's best for the customer. Don't make the decision for them. And then you get these guys that's these industry coaches, you're going to make millions and millions your first year. And they're all telling you about how you're an idiot because you're not going for the jugular. You're not going for the throat all the time. And I'm like, that's not how you build a long-term business. No. That's not how you get that guy to call you back, or that lady to call you back to say, hey, you treated me right the first time. I'm now in a new home. Come change it all out. Right. And so that's my message to and I'm so glad we work for a family-owned business because we are not going to do what's wrong just to get that sale because it's a one-time deal. Right.
Not longevity, like you said.
No.
You have customers. Jesse said that you've had multi-generational customers. That's what it's about. And again, I was writing an article. I'm about to finish it. And I talked about this, and I didn't remember it was Aesop's fable, but the tortoise and the hare. Yeah. So who ends up winning? The tortoise does, slow and steady. And again, you may not, win all the accolades in year 1 and 2, but it's about the long-term sustainability of a heat and air conditioning business.
Yeah, I always tell my techs that, hey, we don't want to be pushy on sales, but we also can't be scared to talk about it. It's finding that balance, because I've had technicians who just are scared to talk about money with the customer. You can't do that either,
Well, they judge them too. We talk about that, the poverty complex. Well, they can't afford it. You don't know that. Somebody. I used to have salespeople tell me they would go to maybe not the nicest home, and they'd go in and they buy the most expensive system.
Yeah, I've had it happen so many times.
Write a check versus we talk about all the time. You go to the country club and there's a Mercedes and a Beamer in the driveway, and what's the cheapest thing you got, Jesse? And I need finance. Oh, well, you can't get qualified.
Wild. Yeah.
But and that's the thing is we were just this past week, we were very heavily looking into a software that would integrate with Service Titan. I'm going to say more than that, but where they lost me was we'll contain you. We will come train your techs, and we will help them with their, what do they call it? It's not the presentation, but it was their speech, or their sales speech. And I'm like, no, we're good. And so my sales manager looks at me because he really wanted this product. I said, no, we're good. Script. I said, because you're not going to give our technicians a script. The minute you give them a script, they're not authentic. They're not really helping the customer. All they're focusing on is remembering the script. And if they say this, I need to say this. That's not what we're about. And I'll put my P&L up and my financials against the guy that does that all day long. We're doing just fine. Yeah. But it's like, how do you feel as a homeowner? Do you want a guy with a script that's trying to get the most out of you, or do you want an honest answer? Yeah. You know? And so, and I really I'm on my soapbox. I need to calm down. But I'm like, there's so much coaching in this industry for that, and it's wrong.
Yeah. No, I mean, you training and coaching on how to have good conversation with the customer is very valuable. I agree. Script makes me worry that you're not engaging the person as a person.
That's right.
Yeah. Once it starts feeling like you're just an AI, then I think you've crossed the line, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten that passionate about it, but it's really a thing for me, because I see these guys coaching young guys that are starting companies, and they have 3 or 4 techs, and now they have to get this product that's going to help them with scripts, and they're going to coach their techs to how to talk. And if the customer say this, then say this. I went through all that stuff. I'll beep that. But like, you know, I went through that with certain people, and it was not me. I sold more, closed more when I could be who I am and tell the customer what I think is best for them, give them different options, let them pick it. You know,
people will pick up on that authenticity.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think we're segueing into the really most important part of this.
Yeah, we are. This is very important.
So, Jesse, do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yes. Do you?
Do I believe in Bigfoot? Man.
How far is the Sierra Nevada from you? How far is the Sierra Nevada mountains?
Not too far. Not too far. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, so I like to believe in these imaginary monsters. But man, unless it has some power to just keep people from stopping and getting good footage of it, I have trouble believing in it. I feel like we would have had a clearer picture of it by now. But hey, anything's possible. So.
Well, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. But you know, we actually, breaking news, we actually have real footage. So one second.
I've been in a lot of places, but this right here, this is where the real mysteries happen. You want to hear 2 guys talk HVAC? Listening to the Beer Can Cold podcast.
Man, I'm a believer.
I don't know. Well, I don't know when this thing's going to run out, but I hope it's no time soon.
We'll move on to some. We'll go to iguanas or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
I actually looked at ordering a golf bag the other day that had Bigfoot on it. Man, I'm in.
Yeah,
I like it.
So,
Jesse, we appreciate you being on, man. Like I said, anything else we want to cover? We know you're busy, and it's getting late in the day out there at 7:30 here. So.
Man, no, it's been great. Thank you for having me on, guys.
It'd be fun maybe to get you guys back. Maybe get your dad and your mom on too.
My mom might get a little camera shy, but I can guarantee you my dad would be on.
I know your dad would be on. He would probably be on right now if you'd say, "Hey, come in."
Probably, yeah.
You know, Will, you guys have talked through Effective Media to get another round table going. So I'm just saying, if it's out there, we get them all live on the podcast. Well, that'd be a fun one.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing another meeting this fall in Columbia. So, Jesse, I don't know. Your dad happened to be in town last fall.
Mm-hmm.
Was it last fall?
Yeah, it was last fall.
Time goes by fast. Don't y'all have relatives in Statesville, North Carolina?
Yes, correct. Yep.
So he was in town, and your mom didn't come, but Rick did, and
he had a great time.
Yeah, we had a blast. So. We're supposed to be getting this thing buttoned up, and I thought we had a slow fall, but man, it's like boom, 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 going to Nashville, going to Wilmington. There's something else on the calendar, and anyway, I'm getting old, Jesse.
Well, Jesse, I hope to really meet you in person. I would love to swap some war stories around the fire pit. That is always more fun for me. Yeah, but thank you so much for coming on our podcast. It's always great to me. To talk to other contractors, and I really enjoy this, man. Thank you.
It's been great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yes, sir.
Have a great night.
we promise it won't be 3 weeks again. Actually, I think we do have a guest already lined up for next week.
Yeah, we might even get 2 done next week.
Yeah,
So we got to catch up. We just the weather being cooler is helping us right now, just on all fronts. It's just
I don't know. Like I think I'm moving my baby to college next week. The third one.
Well, he's moving her down where I live, Jesse. So I'll get to see him.
Yep. So maybe we'll just hang out or something. But yeah, it's I don't know. The first one was easy. The second one still lives here because he does heat and air. But this one, man, it hits different. She's my little girl too.
Oh man,
so it'll be good. But thank you so much, guys. And then we will be back next week. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for all the support we're getting out there. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.